Hello,
Hello.
everybody, and welcome to a new series I'm starting on my channel. This is the Shoestring Company meeting where I just gather a bunch of my friends and we discuss any topics that we feel like. In today's video, we're keeping it finals themed as my channel has been recently. We're going to be talking about weapons, guns, gadgets, specializations, and because season 10 is coming up in about 13 days, we will be discussing what we'd like to see in season 10 and what we think we'd see in season 10. We're going to start down the list. Johnny, you have the most experience. You have the most experience with the finals here. What just quickly go over, like, what kind of guns do you like? You know, I know you play a lot of heavy. You've reached diamond rank with heavy.
He's diamond 1.
I'm not diamond 1.
He's diamond 1, guys. So, like, respect his name.
I love using the shack, right?
Yep.
Really, if I were to give a top 3, I feel like it would be like the shack, Lewis, which you would hate me for, even though, I mean, I've always sort of used the Lewis, but like, it is what it is. And then I think
Spear.
honestly, a good one, bro. Probably the SA.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give no. Go continue. Yeah. Continue.
I mean, yeah, literally just going off based off like what's the highest level, it would be ordered like Shaq, SA, and then Lewis. But I think Lewis is above the SA for me just because of the fact that I really like automatic weapons. Yeah. Even though the SA is technically automatic, but
yeah, I treat it like a burst weapon or a single weapon. I give no hate to you for using the Lewis gun, by the way. I do it as a joke in your clips. Because you're a Shaq heavy guy, you're an SA-12 heavy guy. Those are your weapons. Yeah. And so when you use the Lewis gun, it's mostly just pointless gatekeeping because you know you're the better killer in the group. So when I talk shit about you using a weapon, it's not serious at all.
Fair enough.
Hell are you doing?
Hey yo. Hey no. That's crazy work. All right.
So what about other classes? You've dipped your toes in the other two.
See, it's been a really long time since I actually played light seriously. Like we both know, like I used to play it like during like season 2 and season 1, but like I haven't really played it like that anymore. I used to play it a lot. I used to play a lot of cloak and then a lot of dash.
I love cloak.
But honestly, for weapons. Damn. I mean, it's got to be the XP. I started off with the XP. I think it's like one of my more favored guns on the light.
XP is broken.
Sure.
What the fuck are you saying?
Like, definitely the XP.
Broken.
No, XP fell off. M11
the XP has never actually fallen off. The XP is just a really solid gun. It's just the thing is it's just kind of boring.
It's just other weapons are better. M11 shreds in close quarters.
But still, the XP is still just a really good gun.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it used to be the king back in the day, but I mean, it's not that bad anymore. I just don't use it as much. But when I did use it, I got it up to pretty high level.
It's broken.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy when it had that sight before reticle grad. It was the only one on light, I think, with one.
Yeah, I remember I brought up that point in my V9S video where the cloak was really good with the XP54 because the XP54 had that sight on it and that was illuminated even when you were invisible, and that was the main advantage it had because cloak was meta back in the day. I never understood why. I've always been a cloak hater until Jag came along and I realized that cloak can actually be good. But
hello,
I refuse to use the cloak because I prefer having mobility on my very small and mobile class.
Yeah.
And then what's left? You got medium next.
Medium. I mean, obviously it's got to be FCAR. FCAR. Ugh. You're crazy for saying ugh. FCAR.
FCAR's overrated.
FCAR is just assault rifle, the gun. It's so middle of the ground. It's just a good gun, you know.
Yeah.
Boring.
Definitely FCAR number 1 FAMAS number 2 for sure.
Okay.
And then number 3, I mean number 3 could go to like anything. I feel like anything on medium. But
Like
I don't want to
dual.
go AKM. I don't really like AKM that much, even though it's like cool and all, but like yeah, I feel like it either goes to the model or the revolver, honestly.
Mm.
I
All
can't
right.
choose.
So we have determined that Jonathan here is the most basic player known to man. He's running the
Yeah,
Shack.
Yes.
He's running the XP. He is running
forbid.
the F car. He's just a
Oh,
basic.
That
He's
feels
just a
like
basic
way
boy.
back,
He's just a
though, way
basic boy.
back.
He's just a
It
basic
was
boy
way
right
back.
here. So
Make some slack.
So we've gotten the most experienced player out of the way. Let's talk about the least experienced player. So Jack has not had too many hours played in the finals, but he still enjoys the game every once in a while. Once he plays, he's played a few times. I believe he started season 8, maybe season 7, just a little bit, and he's played a bit of season 9. So Jack, with your limited knowledge, what do you have to say about the gun specialization gadgets? You know, what classes you like? Go ahead.
13 hours.
So my favorite class is the light class.
Yo,
And my
you got a new
favorite
deep
weapon
voice.
to use as of late is the double barrel sawed-off shotgun. It does a lot of damage, of course, and I really enjoy the power. I enjoy feeling the power in my hands, specifically the SH1900. And I like it also because SH are the first letters of the word shoestring, which is my boss
Hey, who left on the mic?
at this company.
Hey, get out of here! Oh, yeah, get out of here! Oh, what are you doing?
Oh, hey man, I'm sorry. I was just.
No, get out of here! You're not a part of the company. Get out!
Okay, man. Well, I hope you guys appreciate my opinion. This is the real Jack.
Oh, hey guys, it's me. It's Jablani.
Welcome back, bro.
Thank you for asking that question, Shoestring. What a great question. I am pretty new at the finals. My favorite class to play lately is the light class. The light class is fast, and in real life I'm pretty fat, so it's a good contrast. It's a really good way to escape reality. But honestly, I play a good spread of all 3 of the weights of people that you can play as.
Yeah, weights is a good way to put it because they're not necessarily classes, but they do have their kind of chunks. You can make classes out of each
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah, I mean, the play styles are so diverse and unique. I mean, there's a wide berth that the developers have provided for you to play as. That's one of the really cool things about the finals is that no matter how you play, you get that fast-paced, awesome action, but you get so much choice in what you do and how you do it. So yeah, I've got to say, playing light, I've really had a lot of fun with the double barrel. Lately, I really like playing medium with doesn't the medium have the healing ray?
Yeah, the healing beam, that's very, very useful.
Yes, yep, especially when I'm playing with my friends. Just for my whole gaming career, I've really been into playing like healers, support classes, tanking as well, but starting off with healer, right? So it's cool that they put that into the game. Heavy class, I love the minigun. Not very good at it though, so when I really lock in, that's when I'm playing light.
Valid.
Yeah, all very good points. Like I said, he's overall the least experienced in the group, but he still had a lot of good things to say. And you know, going back to FPS game experience, I mentioned this in my FAMAS video, but when I started playing the finals, I thought of it similar to Team Fortress 2. You know, you'd run around and you'd stay mobile while shooting. So, you know, I gravitated towards hip fire weapons. So that's why my love for the model came in. The double barrel before that became busted. I considered it a very fast paced game. So I kind of ignored the idea of using the assault rifles because I thought aiming down sights was for chumps. And speaking of Jag, since he agreed with me, I would like to pass the microphone over to him because me and him have a very similar main play style. If you'd go ahead and explain it specifically on the medium class.
Wait, what am I saying?
Well, there's a weapon that we both seem to enjoy. It begins with M, ends with 7. If you just want to give a few, you just want to give a good few. You want to say some good words about that gun? You can go ahead.
All the model 1887. That's a pretty good gun. Okay, so let me lock in real quick. I gotta stop playing this puzzle game Jackson showed me.
What the?
I did see that you got onto it. I'm very happy to see you playing it.
It's a very good game. Very good game. Yes, there's
It is
a
a
daily
very good
puzzle
game.
too. It's very fun. Yes, I do.
Oh man, we love the daily puzzle.
Yeah, the daily. It's like the daily shuffle or something. At the daily
tidy, isn't it?
tidy. Yes, that's it. Thank you. Daily tidy.
Yes, it's so fun.
It's very, very relaxing, very enjoyable daily puzzle to be done. Yes.
Totally.
So what do you have to say about the?
What the fuck has a soundboard?
Apologize. That guy was back on my keyboard again. I don't know what was happening.
So Jag, what do you have to say about the model 1887? Any other guns that you like? I know you've recently picked up the cloaking device on light, and you've somehow mastered that. But yeah, just go ahead, start rambling, start yapping.
Okay. Well, model is very fun. You see, the reason why Johnny doesn't like it is because it takes actual skill, and you can't just randomly shoot people. So that's why he doesn't enjoy it. But for somebody like me who likes to hone my skill as a person with a gun, it is very, rewarding when it does pay off. You see, when you do well with a gun, for example, the F car, you do not feel that power. You just feel like you're racking up points on a scoreboard, right? When you're getting like kill after kill.
Yeah. And not even that, it's just you're poking people. You're not slamming people.
Yeah. See, you can poke them from afar. You can chip them down. You can like do damage by damage, like one by one, like bar by bar. But that's boring. Okay, we're cool. Or at least me and James here, not my friend.
What the fuck has a soundboard? Oh,
yeah, who is doing that?
That's my logistics lead.
I know you have it.
I believe I'm going to change his title to the sound director.
Yeah. A cool thing about the model is that it's a very unique playstyle. Shut the fuck up, Pokey. So it's a very unique playstyle, you see, because the way the model works, you have to play around many things that are usually a non-issue with automatic firing weapons. And that would sound like a hindrance, and in many cases it is. So sometimes it can be annoying. That is the issue with the model. It is a very love-hate relationship when you use the gun, you see. That is what we in the business refer to as a model moment, when you miss several shots on a low HP individual who would have been easily killed with an automatic weapon. We refer to that as a model moment because it is the truth. The truth about the model is that it is a pure skill weapon, you see. If you even so much as slightly deviate from the center of mass of the opponent by a millimeter, you do around half the damage. So essentially, you need to be on point for every single shot, including lights who are dashing around you constantly, in the middle of a very action-packed game. And on top of that, you have to deal with the model's very sluggish reload and a rotation of the chamber, or whatever you call that thingamajigger. You have to deal with that between every single shot. And recently, they also gave the update of 7 rounds in one round. You see, that was very
on top of that, they also sped up the reload animation a little bit. So the old reload animation, you'd have to catch the shell when you open it. This is for like tactical reloads when you're at like 1 shell left. Now you just simply hold it in place and then push it in a little bit further. So that reload is a lot faster, meaning you can get back into action quicker. And one thing that I want to, before the topic trails too far away, is talking about model moments. I know a thing or two about that. In fact, one of my model moments actually led to me winning a power shift game. If anybody's seen that video,
Oh my god.
yeah, you know a thing or two. That is one of my best videos of all time. I might go ahead and put it on screen right now. I'll leave a link in the description to that video if you want to go check that one out. That one's the best video I've ever posted. But yes, go back to you, Jag. Microphone's back in your court.
Yes, I do remember that video very fondly. I believe I even have it somewhere saved on my computer as well. A Hall of Fame video, some might say. So model moments, yes, that is true. Model moments, very conflicting weapon, I would say, when you use the model. You see, it is very very limiting. It's a strange weapon. It's very limiting. You see, your movement is very limited in the way that you have to. Well, let me rephrase that, actually. Your movement is not limited because you're not restricted to aiming down sights as with other automatic fire weapons, correct? So that is the advantage of the model. It has many hindrances and many things you have to play around that are very unique to it. But when you master it, you have full control over your movement at all times. The only slight issue is that when you need to vault or make some sort of action or like climb a ledge or something while reloading, in that case, it does become quite a annoyance because it interrupts your entire reload. And as stated before, the reload is very cumbersome, even with the new update.
And even on top of that, back a while ago, they made a change where weapons where you have to rechamber it, like the sniper, which I believe Pokey would like to talk about that one, and the model and the KS-23. If you do something like quick melee or you vault after you shoot a shot, you still need to work the action. So you still need to use the bolt of the sniper. You still need to eject the spent shells from the KS-23 or the model. So if you were to like shoot your model and then vault over a ledge, you'd have to wait for that levering animation to continue, and that gets in the way a lot, and it's terrible. Same with quick meleeing. I fully believe they should just revert that change, because even as a model main, of course I want it gone, but when it comes to using weapons like the KS-23, learning how to use those, it's just terrible. It gets in the way. I know Johnny would love this, but the SA-12-16. That.
Yes, bro.
Yep, that chamber switch animation. Not even the winch cancel, but even if you have to like quick melee, that animation of switching the chambers is so annoying. Like, I understand why it's there, but that animation is just so annoying, and having to redo it if you were to vault at the wrong time or quick melee at the wrong time is just terrible. So back to you, Jag. Finish up what you're saying about the model. I don't want to
hear a single fucking word about SA Winch, because that shit is still fucking meta.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, well, yes, it is.
No.
The microphone's in Jag. Let him speak.
So I have the right to complain because I'm playing a fucking model, right? It's like pretty. It's not shit. It's middle of the road, I would say, at this moment in time, right?
It's very volatile. I describe it as a volatile weapon.
Is a good word. But also, you did remind me of that thing that you mentioned. When you do any action, sometimes you need to quick melee something, right? Sometimes you are forced in the heat of the moment to do something like a movement option or something of the sort. And that is probably one of the biggest weaknesses of the model, I would say, because of that change where you still need to chamber the round even after like you shoot and then you do an action, you still need to chamber it afterwards. It completely messes up your flow, and in some cases even just makes you miss a shot straight up because you anticipate being able to shoot immediately, then you still need to wait to chamber the round even after doing the action. So it just completely messes up the flow and it ruins your entire like your fighting, like
ruins your momentum.
The momentum, correct? Because in the finals, not every second of the game matters, but every millisecond of a fight matters. You see what choices you make, where you go, what movement you do, like what you break, who you shoot, like things such as this. These all matter. So when you have such a lengthy, like in the context of a fight in the finals, the time it takes to chamber a round is very long, I would say. It's like around half a second or so, I'm not sure, something like that. But in the context of a fight, that is a long time. So it can be very, very frustrating. And in that case, that's probably one of the biggest weaknesses, I would say, having to chamber a round after any action, no matter what. Yes, that is quite annoying. But when it does work, you can two-tap lights, you can theoretically, it's a very volatile weapon. That's the best word I would say.
Yeah.
And even the thing is, when you do master it, when you are perfectly aiming and you can hit every center of mass, and you're chunking everybody for like a third of their health minimum, like every single time you shoot, then you have all the other benefits of movement with the model, despite the hindrances. By the time you have used most of your rounds, they're probably going to be pretty low, the opponents, right? So even then, you like might have some time to reload. You can like strategize around that. You can move around that. Like you can plan around that, right? So that's why there is a lot of emphasis on every single shot you take. So it's a bit too much. It's too committal. That's another good word for the model. It's very committal. Every time you shoot, it's very important because then that's one less round that you have to like have an impact in that very fast-paced fight. Well, I mean, I could talk about the model all day, but I think I should move on.
Move on to you've recently gotten really good with the cloaking device on light. It doesn't matter what weapon you're using, really, but the cloaking device seems to be your bread and butter when it comes to light, which is surprising to me as well, because anytime before we'd play, you were running the dematerializer model, much like I did, and you've been doing great with that. And then all of a sudden, you switch to light just to troll around a little bit, and now you're hiding under everybody's noses. I remember that one clip during my revolver video when I was working on that. You managed to just cloak on the staircase randomly, and the entire enemy team just walked past you, and they were hunting me down. It was crazy. So you want to talk about that a little bit? You can also talk about your experience with Heavy, and then after that we will go on to Pokey.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, but sure, I'll take it. Oh, yeah. Oh, the cloak. I don't know. The cloak. I don't know about Heavy. I'll talk about that later. I guess I have more to say about cloak. But light, I have not played light very seriously at all. I don't think ever. Well, so yeah, I think the only time I've ever used light somewhat seriously was with cloak. And the thing about cloak, I wouldn't say I'm that good yet. I think it's also because the lobbies that we're in, they're not really.
I don't know.
Soundboard is killing me, bro.
Okay, moving on. The cloak, I think it does have untapped potential, I will say, like just in general. Like obviously the lack of movement.
Can we get another O? Can we get another O?
Go on, Jag.
Nah, he's shy.
Ignore the haters.
The lack of movement is very annoying for cloak, right? Obviously the dash is very good for light. You obviously want to have a lot of movement, so that's why I would always play gateway if I had to play cloak, right? Gateway, very useful for movement. But the cloak, it's I don't have much experience against higher level players, right? Who would allegedly be able to like just see you when you're standing still with the cloak, right? So in that case, I'd have to see. But so far, I do think the cloak has untapped potential because you don't see a lot of cloak players like stand still in the middle of a fight, right? Like when you're moving around, when you're moving around with cloak, it's very obvious. You have the sound cue; you can see them pretty easily if you have like decent graphics, unlike me.
Yeah, I remember even in season 1, that's when like cloak was at the height of its meta, and I was able to identify a lot of cloaking players when they were around me. Like cloak was really hard to see a lot of times, and I just hey, I see you invisible there. It didn't do anything to me. So it was surprising how the cloak was actually meta in my eyes. So that's why I never bothered using it. I think the only time I used it was for I think it was a monthly challenge back in season 1. That was a thing. And it was to stay invisible for a total of 300 seconds. That's the only reason why I bothered getting the cloaking device or the vanishing bomb.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jablani.
Jablani has the most insight here with all of his tabloids.
I do. But I do think the cloak, because like I said before, the model, every millisecond of a fight counts in the finals, right? Every like moment is important. So when you can
cloak DB.
No, that's fucking stupid. No.
Huh?
You're stupid. Fuck
Fucking
you.
Hey, let's keep the language down.
Okay, because the thing with the cloak is that when you can go invisible, even if they don't see you immediately and they eventually see you, if you get like a 2-second like reset in the fight where you can like, for example, reload or something, or you can just like make them chase you around a corner, and then you get like that extra like 0.2 seconds of beaming them down when they pass you by. That can make all the difference, because that's all it takes to kill somebody in the finals. If you have like an Arn, for example, you can kill somebody very quickly with just like an extra like a fraction of a second of advantage against them, right? So if you can make them turn a corner and then they don't notice you're there for like half a second, that's already going to win you some fights. So that's why I think the cloak, I don't think I'm that good with the cloak yet, and also I don't play it like seriously, I just troll it every time. But I do think the cloak has a lot of potential. So yeah, and I don't see many. I don't know. I'm sure Johnny Matt over there can speak more to this, but I don't think there's any cloak representation in any pro play or anything such as that. So, but I do agree that dash.
I'm washed, bro.
What?
I'm washed on light, bro.
Oh. I don't know. What about pro? I'm asking about pro play.
Talking about pros, like you watch pros a lot,
Oh.
frequently, more frequently than anybody here. Do any of the pros use cloak? Don't go into too many detail. We got to get to Pokey.
In the majors, there was a bit of a cloak used. I think I remember seeing Team Secret's Light use it. I think his name is Rosa. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think
You're going
he
into too many
mained
detail.
cloak. It was used. It was used slightly, yeah, but it was mainly evasive dash.
All right.
Obviously, since it's just that much better.
Yeah, I do think cloak has a lot of things working against it, because it's just opportunity cost against dash, right? Dash is very, very powerful, and it does, like, the tried and true method of winning fights is just making them like miss you, right? And cloak is very good at doing that because you have very sudden bursts of movement, hard to track and such. So, and it is also very quick to refresh, and you get 3 uses, and it's very like movement in general in the finals is very valued. That's why jump pad on medium is like a mainstay ever since
any mobility gadget.
Any medium build that's worth its salt is gonna have jump pad in it. So yeah, movement very valued. So cloak, I do think it has potential, but I don't think in its current state could overtake dash as any like main meta, like, you know, very popular. But I do think it has potential.
Yeah.
And for heavy, I don't fucking play heavy.
Heavy is probably your least experienced. I remember you did pretty well with the sledgehammer in the SA-12, but it was very limited.
I don't agree.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna move on to Pokey now, our last member here to talk about weapons. I still haven't given much, but I make my videos, so that's my input really. So Pokey, any weapons you'd like to bring into the spotlight? I have a feeling you're gonna pick one of them, but go ahead.
Cerberus.
Okay. Anything you want to say about it?
Dog shit inconsistency.
Okay.
It's like you either tickle them or you just kill them.
Okay.
Okay.
So fucking shut.
It's not inconsistent, is it? If you're close, then they die, and if you're not close, they don't die.
No. Even then, like you could like just like tickle.
Also, even in close range, it's inconsistent.
Yes.
Oh.
It's all about the rhythm.
Yeah, the Cerberus has been a very weird weapon since it released, and I'm not sure how I really feel about it. It's like I said, it's very weird. Ever since it was released, the fire effect wasn't very good. They had to buff it so you could actually, what's the word I'm thinking of? You could actually burn gas with one shell. And that was like one of the main selling points of it. It's like, hey, it shoots fire. You could burn gas, but it took 2 shells to do that. And you're left with 1 that could barely kill anybody. So,
wow,
it was just a very weird weapon since it was released.
It's weird to think it was meta at some point.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Don't remind me, bro.
I always forget that.
Actually, bad times. Horrible times, bro.
Just make it one-shot heavies, and it'll be good again.
Yeah, how about we don't?
So
let's talk about
annoying.
other weapons for you, Pokey. We're done with the Cerberus. We can make that another subject another time.
Thank God.
Light.
Yo,
You seem
fuck
to
you.
enjoy a pretty controversial weapon on Light.
Mm.
Oh, I wonder what that is.
Do you want to talk about it a little bit? Because I actually have some good words to say about you on the sniper rifle.
True.
It's like map dependent. It's like extremely map
What
dependent.
about Kyoto?
I feel like
Fuck
Kyoto
Kyoto.
it would suck on because the
Fuck
bamboo
Nah, but
fields
Kyoto
really.
theory.
Just
Kyoto
fuck
theory.
Kyoto.
Dude, Kyoto theory though, that's real. But yeah, the sniper, it's very situational, very map dependent. You need line of sight. I could talk a lot about power shift snipers and why I don't understand why they don't bring gadgets to get rid of cover and stuff like that. It's very weird to me, but yeah, Pokey, you seem to do really good on the sniper. I remember when we were during the revolver challenge last day, we had a really good win where you had really good sightlines with the sniper, and you were able to basically push the enemy team down and keep them down while me and Johnny went and finished it off. So
W sniper.
yeah, you seem to handle the sniper very well, surprisingly, much like Jag handling cloak very well. It's just shocking to me because every time I see a sniper light, I'm usually just kind of let down from the beginning. But you know, I think it's probably just a friend effect where you'll see them kind of doing okay. And if you saw them, if you saw random doing the same, you'd be like, oh man, what is this random doing? But because they're a friend, it's better. But I do genuinely think Pokey is just really good at sniper. It seems to just click well with him. He probably understands ranges better.
Well, sometimes he's shit, but I'm also sometimes shit. That's just how it
Fuck
works.
you.
But
Alright.
I do think I do
Friendship,
agree
this
that
is good.
I do agree that Pokey has a good hold on the idea of, because I think the sniper works best when it's a support weapon, like when you're just being a thorn in the enemy's side and just like constantly making them worry about like being out of cover.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah,
can't
no,
like
but
ever.
the thing is, like, it's map dependent, but none of the maps really work well for it.
Yeah.
Especially for cash outs, because all of them are almost all indoors.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of
very
where the
strict
the destruction of the finals comes in, because you have to make
Yeah,
a
but
map
even
work
then,
for
the
you.
destruction can work against you. You can
Yeah,
like,
of course.
tear down a wall and then it just covers it.
Yeah, of course. But
It's
you know,
just,
that's
like,
why
too
I
inconsistent
recommend
to be
bringing a
like-
thermal bore every time you play sniper. And whenever I'm against
I
snipers, like
agree.
Jag was talking, snipers are really good support. That, I believe, is one of the main reasons I started using the tracking dart, because I played Power Shift for my final wins as light, and Power Shift has quite a few snipers, more than your average game of cash out or anything else. And bringing the tracking dart, it helped for two reasons. First one is to simply just track down a light, and your team will give support cover fire. And if the light tries to run away, they'll be marked, of course. If they try to cloak, they'll be marked, of course. But secondly is just for paranoia. When you hit somebody with a tracking dart, they don't know, or they seem to forget that the tracking dart exists, so they can't understand why they're marked for 10 seconds compared to a sonar grenade where that only has 3 pulses and it's only like a second for each duration, and you can just kind of run out of the area. When you hit with a tracking dart, you're just always pressured to stay moving or hold your ground. And so I think that's a very effective way to counter a sniper, just like a mindless way to do it.
I think also the thing about the tracking dart is that it's also unfamiliar, not very widely used, so not many people very really understand what to do against it or know what to do against it. But there's also really nothing to do against it, question mark. It's there's not really any counterplay. Like once you get hit, you're just hit. So it's it kind of just it really is about the paranoia, because they can't really do anything, but they still think about it, so it still affects their gameplay and how they move and stuff. But even though they can't do anything, so it is just, if I were to borrow a fighting game term, if I may,
go ahead.
It adds to the mental stack of the opponents, right? It adds to them thinking about more stuff.
Yeah.
And it adds the pressure on them, right? So it doesn't really do much, but it is very good for information and keeping tabs on an annoying light, for example, or a sniper, because sometimes you have to identify where they are and stuff. So I don't think it's very it's pretty niche, I think, overall, but in a wider sense of the game and all the gadgets. But I do like it. It's a useful gun or gadget.
You know, tracking dart is good and all, but getting back to the sniper, I think some things are just too niche to actually have a purpose in this game, and I think sniper is one of that, because the scenarios where you'll actually have a good cash out for sniper is slim.
Yeah, you kind of have to make that happen with either yourself or your team.
Yeah, but even then, there's also counterplay. You can always just winch it away from the sight line.
Yeah.
Or have multiple domes set up, or
or a
barricades.
dome shield. If they put down dome shields to steal the cash out, what the fuck do you do, right?
You just throw a glitch and pray they don't have barricades.
Goo grenades also in this meta kind of suck, but
Yeah,
grenades
it's so niche. I don't think it has a place in the game.
Yeah.
Any other weapons, gadgets, specializations you'd like to get off your chest, Pokey? Anything else you want to talk about?
The dual blades.
Fucking flamethrower.
All right.
I think its active DPS is way too high.
I
I actually kind of disagree. Flamethrower annoys me, and don't get me wrong, but that's only just for the fact that it blinds you when you get shot by it. The flames are so opaque, it's hard to understand what's happening. Whenever I get hit by a flamethrower, I fumble the kill because I forget how to aim properly because I'm looking into a bunch of flames in my eyes.
That's not my issue with that. I
But,
think it's just like there's
yeah.
too much damage for like literal skill it needs.
But it's also
I mean,
the
it's
payoff.
point
It's
and
like
click,
you're literally
like-
playing a fucking flamethrower, so it should do decent damage when you get close. And
Yeah.
it also
No,
pretty
yeah,
easy.
no, but
The
like
counterplay
even
is
then, you
pretty
can
easy
just
too,
winch.
like,
If
it's
I
not
get
hard to
winched
play,
by this flamethrower, I shouldn't take like half my HP even when I'm using model to kill him.
I
Like,
don't know.
I
I
shouldn't
think
lose half my HP or over half just because he managed to get a winch off.
I think it's fine because firstly there are
winch
many
rank.
worse options to be on the other end of a winched gun. So if somebody were to winch you and have a Lewis gun, that'd probably be more effective than the flamethrower. The thing about the flamethrower is that its range is so limited. It's only usable if you make it usable. So you really, it's one of those weapons kind of like the minigun where you really have to play around it rather than making a build around, let's say, your specialization. Because I believe most builds are made around the specialization you choose. And when you
play
choose,
Shack, you're not playing around the fucking Shack.
yeah, but when you use something like the minigun or the flamethrower, or what's another good example? Let's say like the medium melee weapons, you really have to think in terms of what can this weapon do and what can I use to complement them. So if you were to use the minigun, the winch claw is ineffective. The goo gun is a little less effective because with the winch claw, for example, you have to bring them close to you and then you have to wait for the minigun to spin up and then shoot it. And then with the goo gun, it can be useful to kind of force people into areas. I haven't used the goo gun much, so I'm probably just spouting nonsense, but especially with the winch claw, I think I have a good solid understanding of that. When working with the minigun, it doesn't really work very well. And the flamethrower is kind of in a similar boat where you really have to work your gadgets around the weakness of not being able to do any damage from a certain range. And when you do damage, it's consistent damage and it's pretty good damage, but it's not enough. It's not like Lewis gun headshot damage. You know, it's not SA 1216 damage where
That's a good thing.
You
It's
know,
very easy once
it's-
you get in. Once they're
it's-
close, it's very easy to do the damage.
it's
so.
easy to use the flamethrower. It's hard to get extreme value out of it, I want to say. Kind of have to let the enemies give you the value, and eventually they're going to catch on, or they should catch on that, you know, you're using the flamethrower, and they'll exploit those weaknesses.
Yeah. That's also why I think DMAT with the model in recent times has been. Despite the tried and true combo of model DMAT, I think in recent times it has not been as powerful because, as previously mentioned, like the synergy is not very there because, as previously mentioned, the interruption between chambering each round, you have to still do the animation every time you do an action. So, and since you're always like dematerializing a bunch of stuff in real fights and whatnot, and then you still have to like come back and chamber the model and take it out. So I do think it is another example of having to play around a gun, and in which case it's actually it's just an issue of the model in general. It's like even if it's healing beam, you're still gonna have to take it out. It doesn't change anything, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
only like turret or something, you're gonna like not have to deal with that. But yeah, there are a lot of guns like that, like especially sniper. You can't really like glitch grenade people if you're like 100 meters away, right? So it all depends on the gun in some cases. But yeah.
Yeah, and I still believe the dematerializer is just good with about anything. The model is one of those weapons that you can just slap into a loadout if you're good with it, and you don't have to work around the weapon. You have to work around some of the weapon's downsides, but that's with any weapon. It's just what you prefer using. So I believe that should be all the weapon discussion we have out of the way. Anybody else want to bring up anything else? Weapon, gadget, specialization, any lingering ideas, Pokey, Johnny?
Chinese Chuck.
China.
You're gonna have to
What
explain
does
that.
that mean?
Those who know.
Exactly.
That's
So-
all I had to say.
So he's spouting
Is this guy
nonsense.
just being racist? Is this just Wiz being racist?
Could be. Who knows?
Anybody want to talk more about the model?
I think
No, fuck
we
you.
should move into our final subject, which is going to be season 10. Season 10 is, I believe, 13.
Nerf winch.
I believe it's 13 days
Nick
away.
model.
It's very
Fuck you.
close. And
Fuck you.
I believe we should talk about what we'd like to see in this upcoming season. So what kind of themes we'd like to see, what kind of let's pretend
Better
it's
balancing.
let's pretend it's like season 2 again, where they added a lot more stuff. Let's go with gadgets, guns, specializations. If you can't come up with anything, don't worry about it. You don't need to fill every gap, but
something.
like what is something that you really want to see in this next season? I'm gonna start with Jag. He seems to be very vocal about this.
Hello. I want to
fuck
see.
up, Jack.
It's
Shut the fuck up.
not like an addition thing. It's more of a balancing thing. But nerf winch.
Yeah. Witch Claw is problematic. Witch Claw is problematic. It's very understandable why everybody wants it nerfed.
Everybody
Well,
really. I
who
thought I
wants
was
second series?
driving into the dark here because Johnny's the #1 winch glazer, but really everybody wants it nerfed.
Yeah. Even back when it was released and I used the winch claw a lot, I would have loved to see like a little wind up animation. Like you pull it out, you spin it around a little bit, and then you throw it. Not only to give a visual cue when somebody's about to winch me, but also because that instant cast doesn't work well for me, and I can't line up my grabs very well. That's why I used it mostly for cash outs, because cash outs don't move.
Yeah. That's the thing, just in general, the
Inherent design of the winch makes it very powerful. So then having any like range, like instantaneity or instantaneousness. Yeah, like how fast it is, how long it fucking goes, how far.
Yeah, that linger.
And also it goes like if you grab somebody, you can still pull them. Like if you're moving, you can still pull them like way further than the normal range for some reason. And also they're stunned for like almost a full second or so. It's like really long for a fast-paced game. Like I said, every second counts, every millisecond in a fight. So the fact you can stun them for like half a second at least, and they can be shot by like anybody else around the entire time. Like everything about it it's just too much. Like it's just so overtuned, and it's already a very strong like concept, right? Stunning somebody, bringing them to you, so it's easier to aim. You know, you have a bigger body to look at and shoot.
Yeah,
like everything about it.
That's one of the reasons the lock bolt is so strong. But even then, the lock bolt gives you more mobility options than the winch claw. You could even, if you're running the dematerialize, you could dematerialize the floor that the lock bolt is on. You can move around freely again. You can data reshape it. You can destroy it.
Glitchnade or shoot it.
Yeah, that's why I like I've always liked since the lock bolt got added, I've always enjoyed it. It's like it's just a very honest like gadget, right? You can break it, you can reshape it, you can demat the floor under it, you can shoot it. I mean, at least for me, it kind of sucks because I'm playing models, so I can't really shoot it, you know. But most cases, you can still shoot it. So that's the thing. There is counterplay, and with winch, there's basically no like concrete counterplay. That you can't say like lockbolt. You can say, okay, data reshape, boom. It's simple, it's clean, it's fast. You just take it out. It's quick. Winch, you can kind of like goo grenade, and then sometimes they miss, and then it hits a wall.
Yeah, and like even with the lock bolt, there's many cues. Firstly, the heavy has to pull it out so you can see it visually, much like an RPG. Yeah. Secondly, the heavy shoots it, and then you need to see where it's going to land. And then thirdly,
audio cue.
When it lands, there's a small delay before it grabs you, so you could get around a corner in that time. You can get away from its radius in that time. You could just data reshape it as soon as it lands, so it doesn't have an opportunity to actually zap you.
Yeah, I think heavy strategy should be like rock paper scissors. Like, mesh shield beats winch. Winch beats.
Well, mesh shield does beat the winch claw. They recently changed it.
Yeah, no, but just add wind up so like you can react to it.
The wind up for sure. I'd say that's the biggest thing. Like they didn't.
If it's reactable, then it'd be a lot more balanced.
Yeah. So
that's the worst thing. There's no counterplay either. Like it's just don't get hit. Right. You have to every time you have to bait it out if you want to. Like it's ridiculous.
And especially if they have like a melee, it's just not fun. Especially if you're light flash.
I do think it would be an interesting concept for the winch claw if they had it to where if you did get winched, maybe if you like quick meleeed to break it off yourself. But I mean,
yeah, no,
it is a pretty strong.
I would like that.
I mean, special.
Yeah, you know what? When I think about it, yeah, maybe like when it grabs somebody, it grabs the person for longer. So that little short delay when you grab somebody, that like impact frame where the person is still at their max distance, maybe when they get grabbed, there's a small delay where they can try to break the winch claw off, and then if they don't break it off, they're dragged towards the wincher.
No, that's the thing. I would still be I would be fine with that if there because as it stands right now, there is no like definitive counterplay at all, other than just making them miss. And that's why it's ridiculous. It can be strong. The winch claw can be strong. You can make it strong if you want, but there needs to be some counterplay at least. There needs to be something the opponent can do. And if there's something like that where you can break out of it, that's cool, right? There's counterplay. It's a reaction check. There's something you can do about it. But if right now it's ridiculously strong and it's super easy to use. It's just about like aiming it and timing it properly.
Yeah.
And even then, if you miss, you still have like a reduced cooldown too. So it's like it's even longer uptime.
Even then, you want to know the easiest way to use it. Stay
I love
defensive, and if somebody's stealing your cash out, either winch the stealer or winch the cash out. It's like you can easily get value out of it. So
yeah, you can even winch cash outs too. So like
out of
you
the
even
way,
get cash out manipulation on top of it being strong.
let's get away from the winch claw now. Let's talk about like additions for season 10. So one thing that I want to talk about specifically. I believe I mentioned this in my spear video, but a lot of people suggest reworking the spear so the secondary attack is a throw instead of the spin, and I completely disagree with that. I think that is like the stupidest thing you could think of for a rework. Like instead of spinning the spear around, you just throw it, you chuck it, you throw it overhand like a javelin. But like, how would that work just as a concept? Is it just going to rematerialize when you throw it? Like, what's the cooldown of it? How is it going to work? I've mentioned these downsides, but
I don't.
Like
now, the idea of a javelin does not sound bad. So I would say for a new gadget for heavy, just give him a big javelin to throw. If you don't want a javelin because it looks too much like the spear, give him a big spike cannon. Give him another launcher. He's got the lock bolt launcher you can get in the RPG. Give him a big spike cannon. It could do the same thing as a javelin if you want it to. Just make him shoot a big spike. I think that would be cool. That's something that I want to see because it's similar to a frag grenade, but it doesn't have the area of effect. And maybe the spike could still it could be like a recoilless rifle. It still has destruction, but it just doesn't explode. So it could be used as like just a big damage dealer that could punch a hole through something, kind of like an RPG, just without requiring more aim. But I think a javelin would probably be the best way to do something like that.
I'll let Johnny talk because I've been talking.
Throw a big old spear, throw a big javelin. I think that'd be a fun gadget.
Johnny, speak.
Jonathan, speak.
Like, I'm sorry, I just completely, lost my train of thought. Season 10, right?
Yep. Season 10, what you want to see,
I mean, I gotta say it. Ranked is horrible, right?
Yep.
Like, I mean, I'm solo queuing, so like it's kind of my fault. I'm solo queuing. It's my fault technically, but even then, I just feel like the solo queue life and just ranked life in general is just very harder than it used to be for sure. I mean, going to diamond was a pain, but I have no desire to go any further, especially since like I'm not as consistent with playing with you guys, but yeah, I don't know. Ranked is just, it feels really bad for me right now.
Yeah, the seeded ranked. I don't like the seeded ranked because it just makes you hope. Please let me be considered the worst player in this team, so I have a chance of getting more ranked points, just slightly more. I can't tell you how the season 2 ranked system worked, but I liked it where if you progressed past the first stage, you would at least progress up a little bit by the ranks. Maybe that was just a lie. There's that one arrow pointed towards ranking up. I liked that because you won a stage, you're doing pretty good. You're going to go up even if it's just a minuscule amount. But the seeded ranked system just makes it seem like, oh, you're doing pretty good, but not good enough. You're going down.
Honestly, I think another thing that the game really needs to like bring something fresh to us. I mean, everyone's been saying it. I think it's kind of obvious, but new specializations for light and medium.
Exactly.
Heavy's had winch claws since season 3.
Yep.
Arguably, well, I think everyone would probably agree the worst season, but I mean, it was a rough season, but it's gotten better over time, and I think I don't know what it would be, but specializations for medium and light would definitely bring a huge change to the finals, and I think just a lot more freshness to it.
Yeah, I mean,
that
technically,
Heavy has had the luxury of.
Technically, medium and heavy have both had 4 specializations because before the dematerializer, there was recon senses, which was just wall hacks for medium, and they changed the wall hacks to wall hacks, where you hack the wall and get rid of it.
Yeah,
and you know, I think that's just a lot better than recon senses. I'm not saying bring it back, but definitely bring more specializations to the other 2 classes. And
I do like specialization. I think specializations are very very defining like abilities in anybody's kit, right? That's like model D. You call it model DMAT because it's a specialization, right? So I do think more specializations would just be better overall.
Yeah, and I do think
medium would benefit more from it because light, as it stands, it only has 3, right? There hasn't been a new one in like forever. But I do think that they all offer very different and very like unique play styles. Every specialization for light, like grappling hook, very versatile, very fast, a lot of uptime, right? You get like a lot of movement options. Dash, same thing, but it's more like a combat focused, you could say, movement ability, right? And then cloak is also a very unique play style. So I think light, I agree, both medium and light together. I think medium needs it more.
I'd say.
Right. Like turret don't do shit, right? Unless you're like
buff turret, make turret good.
Yeah, I mean turret can still be kind of annoying if you're if it's got like a perfect sightline in the middle of a fight is like hitting everybody. Maybe
the damage can stay as it is because it's an auto aiming, no missing thing. But like make it more versatile. Make it not have that stupid scanning range. Make it not be stupid, basically.
Other than healing beam and DMAT, I think there should be changes and additions to medium specializations the most.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I 100% agree that both the other classes need more specializations. I was going to say, I believe the specializations determine the class of the player, and Embark, they expanded on this with the playstyles tab when you create a new contestant. There's playstyles with set loadouts for each of the specializations, and then they have a quirky little name. There's the scout, there's the healer, there's the wrangler, I want to call it. I can't remember what it's called. It's the one with the winch claw, but like I was talking about with guns, like the minigun, the specialization generally determines the class you're playing. So my main class would probably be in recent time. My main class is the mesh shield, and I just work everything around using the mesh shield, staying defensive, staying supportive. But you could say my main class back in the day was the dematerializer, staying mobile, moving, manipulating cover, all that. And yeah, I think even the addition of 2 more specializations would add a whole new layer of play for the 2 classes that need them. Heavy has plenty of ways to play. You can play heavy super aggressively, super defensively, anywhere in between. Medium and light are both very much in this kind of siloed role of one of them is support medium and the other one is aggressive with light. And there's season 7 did expand on that, giving the light the healing, the H+ infuser, allowing him to play more supportive, and the gateway exists and the tracking stuff exists, but they almost always serve, except for the healing emitter, or the infuser, they all serve the purpose of basically helping the light be more aggressive. When I use the tracking dart, it's not necessarily for my team to help find these people. It's so I can keep tabs on them, so I can go after them, so I can, spray them down with the ARN from a distance.
Yeah.
And if I were to play medium and I were to be aggressive with the dematerializer and the jump pad, my team can still utilize those openings that I use. They can still utilize that jump pad that I've used. And if I'm running the data reshaper to get rid of a turret, that's a turret that my team no longer has to deal with. So they're very much medium and light. They're both still in this silo of being support and offense. And I think it would be nice to have specializations that help them branch out just a little bit farther. And also on Guardian turret, it's terrible, but the amount of Guardian turret use that I see is actually incredible. Like I'll play cash out where healing beam is probably the most useful, and still everybody's running turret, especially in power shift, even though healing beam again would be super useful. Nobody runs it. They always use the turret. It's baffling almost. And I almost never see them placed, which is the weirdest part.
Yeah. I don't know, I think that is a skill range thing. Because if
Yeah.
it were a higher level of power shift than ice, I think you'd see a lot more healing beam. Yeah, but
So
also sniper.
anybody else have anything to add before I add something? John, Pokey, anything you guys want to say?
Chinese Chuck.
Stop.
Shut up. Pokey, you got anything?
Other than Chinese Chuck.
He seems to be muted. Okay. I'm going to go ahead then. MGL 32 rework. I don't know what it can be, what it would be, what's best, but it's got to get done. That was promised like season 4, I'm pretty sure. Maybe season 5, and then they gave it a reload buff.
What 10,000 hours of MGL looks like in the finals.
But I got a few other things. Firstly, for overall gameplay, I want the ability to swap sites either within the practice range or within matches, because when I'm in the practice range, sometimes I want to test out sites without having to go back to the main menus, and I feel like switching them mid game wouldn't affect the game too much. Maybe add a limitation for like the high magnification sites, but overall, I think adding that ability would be fine.
Sites. I would like for some reason, so many fucking games don't do this, but there's no preview for what the site looks like in game.
Yeah, that would be nice too.
Like I know for some reason so many shooters don't do that, but yeah, I would like that. That would be nice.
For my next suggestion, I think this would help make ranked better. Add the ability to swap to your reserve items. A lot of the main reason a lot of people have a lot of problems with a lot of weapons in this game is because they can't utilize counterplay in ranked. In ranked, you're stuck with the most middle of the ground weapons because you can't experiment with something like the spear in ranked, or else you're going to doom your team in the later rounds. And in cash out, you see these crazy strategies all the time because you can switch to your reserve at any time. In my revolver video, specifically day 2, I was up against a guy named Spear Saint. This was my best game in the whole recording. I remember this. I was up against this guy named Spear Saint. He ran the spear every game until the final round when he switched to the SA-1216 because, he wanted to win last round. Of course, everybody wants to win. But, he was willing to use the spear for 2 rounds and maybe even a third one if he wasn't, I guess, scared of the team that he was up against, being me and my randoms. But, it was great to see that. And I don't know, Johnny, you played till you got diamond. How many spears did you see in ranked? I imagine it wasn't too many.
Definitely not. I think most of my journey I was stuck maybe solo queuing through plat 1 for a bit. Then again, I did have some breaks. I didn't full grind my way. I started maybe around like 30 days before the season was ending, before it got extended by another week. But to answer the question, I think I saw like maybe like 5 spears max, like 5 spears, maybe even 6. I don't remember that many, to be honest. I think if anything, I think I saw a lot more flamethrowers and sledgehammers, which I think is
flamethrower for some reason I've seen it be used like pretty effectively in some places. Like flamethrower, I can see that.
Yeah, I saw a lot more flamethrowers for sure. But as for spears, it was I think for spear, I think it was mainly towards like higher where I actually saw spear being used. I don't think I saw it when I was in like when I first started, when I got placed in like I think it was gold.
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely saw spear a lot later into my solo queue grind to diamond.
Interesting. But yeah, I think reserve swapping would be healthy. Again, this whole game is about customization, about making your character what you want it to be, and just removing that ability for the ranked game mode kind of goes against that idea, I want to say.
Yeah, I can't really complain because I just play the same gun.
And on top of reserve, I know in the quick play modes you can switch between everything, but I wish the reserve items were at the top of that list. If I want to switch to my data reshaper, I have to scroll to the bottom of the list. Now, if I have a short respawn time, or if I think about it last second, I almost can't get to it in time. I think, just make the reserve items appear first in the list when you're swapping between everything. It'll make it a lot easier. That's the point of the reserve. And finally, I think the last thing I want to talk about until something else flashes into my mind is a barricade rework. or at least just a small
Yeah.
change. So in season 9, at the beginning, they made it so barricades could clip through walls. I think that's a good step in the right direction because barricades are finicky with their deployment. That's the main problem with them.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, the barricade is made out of 5 panels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't these panels expand? You know, when you place one down, imagine the placement center shows just that center panel. So if you could place that center panel, it will then expand up to 2 more panels on either side if it can. So you can put a barricade really close to a wall, but it's only 3 panels. That means not only is it easier to place, but it's also kind of a limitation because then it's weaker. A barricade's strength is defined by the panels of it, and if your barricade gets shot by an RPG and it only has 1 panel remaining, you can pick that barricade back up and then place it down with all the panels. But if it loses all of its panels, you can't pick it back up and place it back down. So if you only have 3 panels on your barricade, you're down like 2 panels, and so it's 2/5 weaker. And you know, it would help make them easier to deploy while not making them too powerful.
So basically, you're talking about like making it so that you can place it anywhere again, but like if you were to place it next to a wall, it wouldn't clip through the wall anymore, and it would instead just break off the extra going outside of the wall.
Yeah, basically,
Is that what you meant?
you would
I
place
like
down
that.
that center panel first. So if you can't put the center panel in walls, firstly, you'd place down that center panel first, and it would assess the area nearby. Let's say there's space for a little bit on the left of it, and then there's a lot of space on the right of it. So it would place like half a panel, maybe not even, maybe it can only go by full panels. Then it wouldn't place a panel to the left of it, but it would place the 2 panels to the right because there's plenty of space. If you were to put it in a very confined space like a doorway, let's say, it would only place that center panel and then maybe the other 2, so it would still be a 3-panel barricade. So it would basically it would conform to what it's placed by instead of just clipping through it. That way, you know, you get the best of both worlds. They're not too strong, they're not too placeable, but they're easier to place, and you know, if they're in a weird spot, they're a little bit weaker just because that's how the barricades work.
I don't think that'll change. My main issue with barricades, but I don't even play it, but I think the thing about it not being used as commonly, barricades, right? They're not used like at all compared to like dome shields and such. I think the main issue I would have with barricades is just the versatility, right? It's just
For sure.
once you place it, it's there. So
For sure.
I think a rework would be nice, but I don't think it would change like it would change how you use it, but it wouldn't change like its effectiveness.
Yeah, I think barricades are very effective. I will say, I did a video on them.
Oh,
It's
they're
one of my
strong,
worst videos. It's one of my earlier videos, but they're very strong against bullets. Better than goo, better than mesh, better than dome. Maybe not better than mesh, but still very effective. They're glitch proof, so better than mesh and dome in that department. They're fireproof, better than mesh and dome in that compartment. Same with goo. They're very good. They're very strong. The problem that people have, firstly, is, you know, the area of coverage. You have to build the area of coverage of the barricade, which I think is a fine downside of them. With the dome shield, you can easily slap it down, but it's easy enough to get rid of a dome shield. With the mesh shield, it's only covering your front, but it's a big area, but there's that gap that you can squeeze in between. The barricade, you just place it down and it's solid there. The problem that a lot of people have is just deployment. Sometimes you can't deploy it some places. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes, and of course, it doesn't cover anything up above, so it's very situational. And I just think this deployment change would help just kind of fill in some of the gaps that it has.
Well, I don't even play heavy, but yeah, I agree.
All right. Those are my thoughts there. Anybody have anything else they'd want to add? Maybe ideas for new guns, new weapons, anything. Doesn't have to be a gun, be a melee. Buff model, of course. I think the model should get some range back. Maybe not necessarily range, but at least accuracy, because it can't 2-shot anymore. It can't 2-shot mediums anymore. I think maybe giving it some accuracy back, maybe that would also allow them to make the Cerberus a little bit stronger in close range, but I feel like the Cerberus is fine where it is. But yeah, I'd love to see the model buffed because it's the model. It's my favorite weapon. I see Johnny's in the main menu. Are you looking for anything to talk about? He's not. Oh yeah, I had this idea, but the stun gun, before it got turned into the nullifier, I would have liked to see the stun gun get changed in a pretty interesting way, in my opinion. Jag sent me a DM. My PC just fucking died. That's great. It looks like we're winding down here, but just for my last thought, I guess I'm only talking to Johnny here unless Pokey is back. But when the stun gun got changed to the nullifier, I didn't like that very much. I think they should have just made the stun gun a sustained weapon, so you basically just lock onto the enemy and you hold down the mouse button or whatever, and you keep them within a reticle distance, so you keep them stunned, and they still have that stun effect, because they wanted the stun gun to be like a crowd control device, and the nullifier just kind of seems very useless.
I do remember hearing, I think, from I think it was Apo.
You call for me?
I know you guys would probably.
I'm just wondering if you're still back. We're winding down here. We're gonna end this recording pretty soon.
I remember hearing an interesting take that he had about how maybe potentially adding a nullifying your own teammate as a feature with the stun gun, which I thought was actually pretty neat and could potentially save your teammates in some cases. Although it could be BMing.
Yep.
Sure. Could be a very troll-like thing, but I feel like other than that, I feel like it's actually a really good idea and could actually make for some really good plays.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna end this episode here. It was a very long discussion. I have an hour of recording to possibly sift through for a bit. Like the Jag DM'd me. He said his PC died, so we're gonna end it here.
We're hopping on Siege though, right?
We could. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in this next one. For episode 2, I'm planning something special, a little bit of a game show, you could call it. I'm hoping these same people here will join me next time. And
I'm calling Jag a slow next set soon.
I will see you. I will see you in the next
finals next time.
I'll
Stop
see
being
you.
Racist wizard.
I'll see you in the next episode of Shoestring Company Meeting.